Hi everyone, this is Kim with Yoda Yoga, and today we're going to talk about some progressions that you can do on your way to being able to practice crow. So one of the first things that we need to do is talk about our wrist. We have to be able to hold our body weight with the wrist, so we have to work on our wrist flexion and extension. So one of the easiest things that we can do is simply work the wrist out, shake them out, wiggle them around, and then we'll just take our regular child's pose and we'll start to lift the fingertips up towards the sky, spreading them nice and wide. And on our exhale, we'll bring the hands down and lift the wrist up towards the sky. So moving back and forth 20 times, opening up the wrist. Very simple movements, creating some space in the wrist. Also working on spreading the fingers wide to create that nice giant base. And allowing that flexion and extension to start to move. And then we'll take those fingers down. So we're going to start with the pinky, and I'm going to fan the pinky out. I'm going to create as big of a base as I can with the hands. And on an inhale, we'll stretch up, making our way to that tabletop position, starting to walk ourselves forward so that the shoulders are right over the wrists. So if that's crazy uncomfortable, you're going to walk your knees back and give yourself a little bit of space. And as we practice more and more, you're going to bring those knees forward and have those shoulders stacked right over the wrists. So on our exhale, we're going to squeeze the elbows towards the rib cage, and we're just going to lower it to that 90-degree position and press back up. Now, if you can't get all the way down, no worries. We're going to come right here and back up. So again, we'll take this 10 to 20 times, trying to work on creating that shelf for our arm balance to balance on. Nice spread wide fingers. Nice and controlled squeeze of the arms into the rib cage. Moving slow enough to create some muscle. Fast enough to activate the fast twitch. Breathing as we go. 20 times. Long breath. And then when you're finished, we'll release, sitting back, maybe stretching out the arms. Breathing, releasing the wrist. We can do a little tumble roll or a press out from side to side. And then we're going to start to come up to the toes. We're going to walk those feet out wide, close to the edges of our mat, and we'll take a little sit in our prayer squat, drawing the thumbs into the heart, lifting the heart chakra, lifting the root chakra, and opening up the hip flexors. So taking the time, if you need to turn the toes out to the side, it's just fine. If you can't sit all the way down or you can't get your heels all the way down, we'll simply take the back of our mat and start to roll it up and rest the heels on the back of our mat. So lots of places to start to practice, and as you gain a little more flexibility, you'll bring those heels to the earth. So for this progression, we're going to start to move. Once again, 20 times. We'll lift the hips up in the forward fold, and we'll exhale back down to the prayer squat. Lifting up tall with the sit bones, and then lifting the heart. Pressing through our feet. Inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we fold forward. Lifting heart, lifting hips. And as I lift my hips, I'm going to lean forward, bringing all my weight to the big toes, allowing my hips to sit right over my ankles. Breathing in and out, creating space, not only in the hip flexor, but the IT band as I extend up. Breathing. And then we'll land back in that prayer squat. Releasing maybe a gentle rock from side to side. And then our next progression, we're gonna walk out into that plank position. So when I come to plank, I'm gonna draw my belly button to the spine. Once again, fan my fingers out nice and wide. Lift the belly button up and in, hugging the armpits in towards the face. And then I'm just gonna start to bring my right knee to the back of the arm and back, up and back. 20 times each side. Breathing. And after the 20 on the right, I'll move to 20 on the left. Moving as quick as you possibly can, but staying in that nice flat plank. One line of energy from the crown of the head to the heels. Breathing. Now, when we finish from the two sides, we might come down, release the wrists once again, roll them out, spider on the looking glass, a nice shake. And then we'll move to the next progression where we'll take that plank just a little bit further. So widening out the hands, still working on the base for the crow. We'll take both feet and hop them up to the back of our arms. Hop back to the plank, hop back up to the arms. So we're working on that lower core, lifting the hips high to the sky, and pressing the earth away with the hands. 20 times. Doing this at your own speed, focusing on getting the hips high to the sky and the knees high to the armpit. And when we're done with our 20, we'll head down. Walk the hands behind, stretch out the shoulders, tucking our chin. And then releasing a little shake, or maybe even releasing the torso. And we'll move to our last progression. We'll plant those hands, shoulders width distance apart, walking our knees as far as we can up into those armpits. Looking forward, I'm going to pick up the right foot and rock back. Right foot and rock back. So we'll take it 20 times on the right side, lifting the hips as we rock forward. Keeping the gaze forward so we don't dive underneath. Opening the wrist and the hip flexor. Breathing. And when we're finished with our 20 times, we'll move over to that left side. Picking up the foot, but remembering that we're lifting the core as we rock forward. We're lifting our root block and Uddiyana Bandha. All three things coming into play. Also pushing the earth away, activating Hasta Bandha, the hand block. And then when you're done with your 20 on either side, we'll release. Come down, walk those wrists out, or maybe tuck them underneath, wiggling our fingers. So if you work these progressions every day, then you'll feel ready to start to move into your crow. So for crow pose, we're gonna plant our hands, shoulders width distance apart, spreading the fingers wide. If you like to, I always like to take that big fan, starting with the pinky and opening everything up. When you're ready, I'm gonna come up to the balls of the feet, walk the knees right into the armpits. Looking forward for balance, I'm gonna pick up one foot, and then maybe I'll pick up the other foot, landing in my crow. Using your breath, not holding the breath in the position, and you'll release down. So if you're not quite ready for liftoff, we'll take a step back and maybe add one more progression by just rocking forward to the toes and rocking back. Rocking forward and rocking back. So you could take this for 10 to 20 times, and then maybe one time you'll just accidentally rock all the way up to your crow. That's it for our crow progressions. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.